It was really good.
Are most of them residents of the
Real phone.
Welcome to tonight's business meeting of the Board of Directors. This is meeting number 15 for this calendar year 2017. Our invocation tonight will be provided by Dr. Eric Capacey, and the Pledge of Allegiance will be by Director Foley.
Thank you very much. All right, let's all bow for prayer. Father, I thank you for the leadership in the city of Hot Springs. I thank you, God, that you have ordained them for us and that, Lord, they're here tonight faithfully serving our community. And I just pray tonight wisdom for this meeting. I ask you, God, to provide blessing and peace and unity in our city. I thank you, Lord, for giving us the city of Hot Springs. What a beautiful place to live. What an amazing community to be a part of. I'm glad I live right in the center of the city and get to just take advantage of all the wonderful people that you've given us here. So, Lord, I just want to thank you. Thank you for the good gift of our city, and then ask you, God, to help me to be the kind of person you would have me to be, to help continue to see this place become a great, great beacon of light and hope to not only the city, but to the state of Arkansas and even the nation. I love you, Jesus, and thank you again for these wonderful people. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Would you join me in the pledge, please? I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We'll call this meeting to order. Like the roll call, please.
Davidson.
Here.
Jones.
Here.
Clark. Williams.
Here.
Garcia.
Here.
Foley.
Here.
McCabe.
Here. This time we'll consider approval of the agenda, including those items on the consent agenda. If there's any additions, deletions, or changes to the agenda, or moving anything from the consent agenda to the main business section, I'll entertain that now. Director Fowler?
I'd like to recommend that we approve the agenda as printed.
We got a motion to approve as
Second.
presented, seconded by Director Garcia. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Agenda's been approved. Recognition of guests. I have a couple guests here tonight. Two people I met recently at a PACA Fest, a Park Avenue Festival. Andy Roberts and Lisa Schoonover. Lisa and Andy, come on up, please. I ran into them over the summer, and they are taking what was perhaps in its day a very fine motor lodge called Cottage Court, and is bringing new life to that establishment. And tell us what you got going on, Andy.
Well, we started about a year
Please,
ago.
you have to move the mic a
There we
little
go.
bit.
There we go. Sorry, guys. We started about a year ago, and we bought this building that had been sitting boarded up and shut down in Hot Springs for about 10 years. And we thought we were crazy, and I think we were. And we just had this dream and a vision to bring back the old roadside motor court kind of thing, and we wanted to do it for years. And I think
We both grew up coming to Hot Springs and loving it.
by the way.
Yeah, if you can't tell. and so that when we first started looking for a motel, we'd been talking about this for a long time, and I thought I was talking loud enough, but I'll talk louder. So we'd been looking for it for a long time, and we finally got serious about it in about 2015. And so we were looking all over the place, and then we finally said, get real. We're not moving up to Vermont or out to Nevada or something like that. And we said, where do we really want to be? And we said, Hot Springs. We love it. We like all the water. We like the crystals in the ground. We like the resources. And then we came here and got reacquainted, and we fell in love with the people. Great. And we fell in love with the area. And I personally am so happy to be here. I feel better here than I felt in a long time, and that's really good. And then Andy actually found the project for us. And when she told me about it, I was like, oh, Are you kidding? Because you could barely see the buildings at that point. And we really, when we,
Suzanne can attest to this.
yes,
Yeah.
when we first started, it was such a jungle. I know a lot of people don't drive up on Park Avenue, and we encourage whoever doesn't drive up there, drive up there. It's becoming so vibrant, and we're so happy to be there and be a part of bringing that business back to Hot Springs and bringing that excitement back. And we have so many neighbors like Suzanne that are in the neighborhood that are so excited that we're there and are coming by daily just to chat and say, hey, thanks for doing this. And so we're excited about that. And we've had a great experience with City of Hot Springs.
Well, Lisa and Andy, you're both from, I mean, you were raised in Texas,
yep.
but Andy, you're in Nashville, Tennessee now.
I'm in Nashville, Tennessee,
And
and I would
you
rather be in Hot Springs. I hope no one from Nashville sees this.
I think Andy has told me she's the developer side and Lisa's the operations side, so they're
That's
kind
right.
of tag teaming this pretty good.
She does really good. She just she thinks of a lot of things and kind of dreams things up, and I kind of put them into action. I start from the ground up and say, okay, we got to clean it up first, and that's kind of, so we put a lot of work in and a lot of time, and besides that, we both still work full-time jobs besides doing the motel. So we're just committed to being here. We love being in the city. One of the best things that we first discovered was the CAPS program. And we were so appreciative of that because we used that, and it was great to be able to, just go ahead and beautify the property and to get some assistance with doing that. So that's a great program. And then the other guys that we worked with, as far as and Andy can tell you more about that because she worked with them.
Yeah, everybody here, and even Mayor McCabe, everybody here that we've met in Hot Springs has been so supportive of our project, so helpful. Suzanne, of course, and the people with the city have been great working with, from codes to planning to everything we did here was. They were helpful, and they wanted to see the project survive. They wanted to see it grow and have a good outcome. And so we always felt like we really had them, kind of rooting for us on the side as we were doing all of this, because it was a project. It was something that really, a lot of people have come by and been like, oh, we thought they should have torn this down, and we can't believe you did this. And so it's been really cool to have the city behind us and know that we had that kind of support too.
Well, and I guess as a result of that, you've ventured off into another project, have you not?
We did. Well, we haven't yet. We're about to. We just bought the old Bel Air Motor Court, which is the Bel Air Apartments, Suzanne. Yeah. We haven't started yet. We've started a clean out and just some exterior work we want to get everything looking better. And that was another property that has been badly neglected. It's had, renters in unfortunate circumstances. I think we wouldn't let anybody live there. And there have been some people that were living there up until like 6 months ago that, it was in pretty bad shape. And, our plan is to just make it better and make it just another, beautiful spot along Park Avenue.
Can I add something?
Yeah.
You forgot to tell that they use the iconic colors. Remember in your 50s, turquoise and coral and all of that?
We tried.
And it looks great. And plus, they took the old cottage court neon sign and took it back to exactly what it looked like in the colors. So you didn't just...
Yeah, that's another.
You restored it.
Yeah, that's another. We actually.
The rooms are great.
We
They're
didn't
really
have
nice.
a sign. We actually worked with the Planning Commission here, and we made a sign that was pretty much an exact replica of what we could find that we thought it looked like. And we worked with some great guys in town that have done neon. Yeah, the wonderful Meeks brothers who've been doing neon for about 50 years. And that was just another part because, I'm a preservationist at heart. I don't like to come in and tear stuff apart. I like to take it back and do as close to original as possible. And we definitely wanted that vintage, kind of 1950s feel. We wanted to maintain that.
And we'll say this, we really haven't done any advertising yet. We've just got a couple of rooms on Airbnb, and we've just been renting rooms since the end of June, and we've been having a phenomenal response. Such great visitors coming to our city, and they're so excited to be here, and we're so excited to have them here. And one other thing that I want to add about what attracted me to that property was because it's walkability for downtown, and people are loving that. They walk from our place and go downtown and visit the shops and visit the restaurants, and they're able to have that experience without having the hassle of, looking for a parking place and things like that, and taking a stroll, down the streets, which is what we want. Well, right now the Vel de Rose is kind of interfering, but that's going to be a lot better too. So we're excited about that project going on over there. But so we're just delighted to be here, and more for the future.
Well, thank you so much for your efforts.
Thank
And we
you.
look forward to maybe a third chapter. You got two chapters.
Hey,
going on.
hopefully many. Thank you for the invite to come and speak to everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
We invite any of y'all to come by and see
Yeah, come by anytime if you guys.
Came by today to see the rooms, and I know
Yeah, and for the viewing public at home, drive up, go past the fountain, go up Park Avenue, and drive a mile or two or three.
And hey,
See what's happening.
stop by, you guys. If we're not busy, we're happy to show anybody around and give you guys the grand tour. Anybody that's watching, and we want to get the word out that Park Avenue is a great place, and it's really coming back.
They're the block. The next block up from the old Bohemia restaurant.
And DeLucas Pizza is about a block away from us, so that's another landmark.
Just right there on the same side of the street.
Yep.
Bailey's. Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thanks,
All right.
guys.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Appreciate you. This time we have a proclamation on Hot Springs Growing Healthy Communities Annual Food Day. We have two representatives from Growing Healthy Communities, Alicia Chapman and Kayla Bradbury. Please come up. And I've asked Director Davidson to read the proclamation and present that to you.
Thank you, Mayor. Whereas the health and well-being of our citizens is of primary concern for the city of Hot Springs, and whereas promoting safer, healthier diets is a critical factor in improving citizens' overall health, and whereas supporting sustainable family farms and local agriculture benefits the local economy, and whereas expanding access to food and reducing hunger is of critical importance to aid those who live in food deserts, and now, therefore, I, Pat McCabe, Mayor of the City of Hot Springs, on behalf of the Board of Directors, do hereby proclaim September 23rd, 2017 as Food Day in Hot Springs, and I urge all citizens to participate in the activities planned herewith. In witness whereof, I hereunto set my hand and cause the seal of the City of Hot Springs to be affixed on this 19th day of September in the year of our Lord, 2017. Signed, Pat McCabe, Mayor. Bring it down to you.
Alicia, would you like to make a comment or two?
Yes, thank you. Alicia Chapman here with Kayla Bradbury, and we just excited about our annual food day, which will take place this Saturday, September 23rd, from 8 to noon at the Farmers Market. And just to give you a little background information on Food Day is a national celebration that began in 2010 to promote healthy, affordable, and sustainable eating. And since the Hot Springs and Garland County, we definitely want to bring that awareness and promote that to our city. This is our 4th annual event, and I believe that we will continue to expand it and make it really good for our community. So if you have any family members, loved ones who have nothing to do on Saturday, we're just asking you to come out. There'll be a SNAP table, nutrition and food table. We also have children activities and get them going with planting fresh food. So it's going to be an exciting event. So we thank you for letting us partake in this event, and God bless you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
At this time, we'll hear from Mr. Gary Troutman from the Metro Partnership Economic Development. He'll provide an update, and he's newly installed as of yesterday. So this might be one of your first public appearances and your first report to the board.
Hot off the press. Well, I'm honored to be appearing before you in this capacity and going to deliver the quarterly Metro Partnership report for the third quarter, but I'd like to recognize Jim Fram for his leadership and direction for the Chamber and Metro Partnership these past 4.5 years. My report tonight is twofold. The first part is the contract elements update. The Metro Partnership maintains facilities for the purpose of economic development. We have a full-time qualified senior manager for the program. Our management has held several regular meetings with city manager and staff. We maintain active research methods to be able to provide up-to-date information to potential clients. We keep and maintain all the tools necessary to provide the information mentioned above. We assist both new and existing companies in facilitating assistance with workforce issues. We maintain an active working relationship with the AEDC, MLRA, and other local, state, regional, and national economic development entities. We enjoy the services of a full-time downtown development director. We performed visits and surveys of more than 75 local companies this year to identify potential for growth and expansion, as well as to identify potential crisis. We do maintain an active and ongoing database of site consultants and corporate real estate executives. We do maintain an active membership in the International Economic Development Council, the Southern Economic Development Council, and the International Council of Shopping Centers. And finally, we work with the West Central Planning and Development District and sit on several of their committees and task force. That's the contract elements. The second part is the project update for the third quarter. We're currently working 9 active new job and new capital investment projects with existing companies. Both you and the Garland County Quorum Court have recently approved resolutions for the Arkansas Tax Back Incentives Program for Valley Building Specialties. We anticipate bringing another to an upcoming meeting for a local manufacturing company whose application is still being processed by AEDC. We've submitted RFIs on 2 new projects and are preparing another just received from AEDC yesterday. In total, these RFPs represent 110 new jobs and more than $50 million in new capital investment. And finally, we're working with one startup which is locally owned. The owner has purchased property and is in a fundraising mode currently. And that concludes my report.
Very good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And thank you, Jim, for your service over the years. We appreciate that, and I know that you and Gary will be working together through the balance of the year and making sure we have a smooth transition. So thank you. At this time, we'll hear the report from the city manager.
Thank you, Mayor. I also want to forgive Gary for wearing those Denver Broncos colors, but we do have a Chiefs tie coming your way soon. So first up tonight is the Food Truck Friday. I want to urge folks not to miss the second and final Food Truck Friday event of the year. That's going to be held on Friday, September 29th from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. at the Farmers Market Pavilion. You can enjoy lunch, dinner, or both at a variety of different food trucks while enjoying live music and visiting with friends. The event is accessible by bus or car or by foot, skateboard, stroller, bicycle, and so on. So it's right there on the beautiful Hot Springs Greenway Trail. We encourage you to come out.
That's next Friday.
It's Friday, September 29th.
Okay.
11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Also, there's a trail biking double event set for Saturday, October 14th. You can introduce kids to the joys of trail bicycling at this annual double event sponsored by the Hot Springs Parks and Trails. It's the 11th annual Trikes. I got that wrong already. Tykes, Trikes, and Trails. I'm going to be at this, I think, the way this sounds, for little ones in strollers, wagons, tricycles, and the like. For the older ones, there's Take a Kid Mountain Biking Day. Volunteers will be on hand to help kids with safety tips and ride along with the youth riders. Both events will be held simultaneously. Registration at 9:30 at Entergy Park. It's a free event as well. Also have some announcements about CDBG funding. Congress recently released the funding for fiscal year 2017, and I'm proud to announce that the City of Hot Springs will be receiving $389,769.
Hallelujah.
That's really phenomenal. I want to thank Kathy Selman, our planning director, but also Mrs. Stelly, who just departed, I think, for Houston. You think we could have dissuaded her with a hurricane, but I guess it wasn't enough. But she did a fantastic job, and there's many staff that actually work behind the scenes on that as well, and people in the community that helped us with that. So there were a total of 16 proposals being considered for fiscal year 2018 CDBG funding, and these are available for review on the city's website at cityhs.net and in the Planning and Development Office here at City Hall. Applicants will present their proposals at the Community Development Advisory Committee meeting at 1 p.m. on Thursday, October 5th, here in the board chambers, and the public is welcome to attend. Also, there's been some incidents of rabies, and so we want to be sure that we remind people. We've had 6 rabies cases in Garland County so far this year. Pet owners are reminded to vaccinate all dogs and cats that are at least 4 months old against rabies. Any daytime activity by nocturnal creatures, such as skunks and bats, that you see is unusual, so that activity should be suspect. Residents are urged not to approach the animal and to contact Animal Services immediately at 262-2091. Also like to remind folks that you can have a rabies vaccination. We're having a vaccination drive from 1 to 4 p.m. That's your pets, by the way. I knew you were going to get me on that. Your pets can be vaccinated from 1 to 4 p.m. on Saturday, October 21st at the Transportation Depot. At the event, $5 rabies vaccinations, $20 microchips, and a $10 annual pet license for this says unfixed pets, but I think that's just a typo. But anyway, those are available, and a $20 lifetime license fee for pets that have been neutered or spayed is also available. And then we have our fire hydrant flow testing that's underway. This is an annual event for the City of Hot Springs Fire Department. They've begun that, and it will continue, weather permitting, until November. Water lines are flushed in order to test flow water pressure levels at every hydrant for fire control purposes. The process helps maintain the integrity of the city's water distribution system. You may see some discoloration in your water. It's temporary. When you see that, just please run your tap and it'll clear up quickly. If this takes place and it doesn't clear up, be sure to notify us at 321-6200. That's Utility Service Center. And then last but not least, kind of a milestone accomplishment for the Majestic Hotel side. I want to thank Lance Spicer for his continuous work on that. We have now completed the Phase 2 environmental assessment. We have only one fuel bunker on the site that was the primary target of the testing, and the good news is it's completely remediable. We also have been working with ADEQ on a potential fuel tank mitigation program that we think is going to accelerate the program, and we may even get a grant for the entire removal. So within 6 to 8 weeks that could be achieved, and then after that we'll start scheduling our public outreach for the remainder of the visioning process for that site. So progress. And this, by the way, I have to say, this is not my first experience with environmental assessment. But this is the fastest one I've seen in my career, and I just want to thank you again, Lance, for your work on that and pressing forward, as well as our consultants.
I think what I understood you to say by the choice of a word you used, that fuel tank site is capable of being remediated.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
But not yet remediated.
Yeah, it's not yet remediated. The fuel samples we took there, we knew that was a target area because there was a fuel cell there. But the degrees of contaminants was actually lower than we were anticipating, and it also was more contained than we anticipated, so we think the actual remediation will be quicker than we had anticipated as well. So hopefully within 6 to 8 weeks we'll have a full clean bill of health for the site, and then it's on to bigger challenges after that. So
Thank you.
thank you, Mayor.
This time we'll hear announcements from Board of Directors for upcoming events.
Oh, I have a correction. You know, I told y'all last time.
Okay,
that I
Director
said the
Jones.
wrong thing. But on the chili cook-off that I was talking about with the firemen and the policemen, the Gateway community is in charge of that chili cook-off, And we invite all churches to submit their chili. And by the 22nd of September is the last time that it can be done. Now, on October the 7th, which is a special day around here, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., the Fall Extravaganza will be held. It's a community health and resource fair. We have a lot of those going on. And it's good. Flu shots, foot checks, depression screenings, hearing screenings, blood sugar and cholesterol tests, men's health screening, local resources and information, and there will be children activities. And for the chili, I always forget that. In 2015, Roanoke Baptist Church won, but in 2016, Eureka Baptist won that one. So this time we need somebody to challenge me with the chili.
When's the date again?
The date is October 7th, and you know, we got plans on October the 7th. Thank you, Mayor. That concludes my upcoming event.
Appreciate the report. Director Garcia.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I would like to announce that October 3rd is National Night Out with our Hot Springs Police Department. And in District 5, I'll be hosting National Night Out at the center at Forest Lakes at 305 Forest Lakes Boulevard at 5 p.m. And it's a public meeting that you're invited to attend. And the police are scheduling around the city to have teams come out and visit in your neighborhood. We'll have food and fellowship with the police, and that will allow at 5 o'clock, I have plenty of time then to still get to our city board meeting at 7.
And as much as Director Garcia just made that announcement, there will also be a
Hold that finger up.
I just lost my train of thought. A National Night Out, is that it? Event at Charlie Moore's house at Cocoa Bay for the residents of Cocoa Bay.
Very good. Any other announcements, Director Davidson?
Just to add to the food trucks, It's Good Food is usually up on Park Avenue in that blank area where it has the wall there just before you get off the more inhabited area of Park. And they're there nearly every Friday afternoon. But I noticed this past Friday, Mike's Big Barbecue. Big Mike's Barbecue was there with his cooker thing. And so we may be having, who knows how many food trucks we're going to get up there, but come on up to Park Avenue and get something to eat too. That's it.
Director Fowler, you haven't had an announcement?
I'm listening. Thank you.
You're in listening mode?
In listening mode.
Okay, well, I have maybe two announcements. One, and I just happened to stumble on this, the Hot Springs Bicycle Association is having a slow roll bike event on Friday, the 29th of September, and it's Food Truck Friday, so they're going to end up at the farmer's market. I don't have the particulars on it, but, you know, so if you go to a Facebook page, Hot Springs Bicycle Association, you can get some detail on that. But we had, in the spring, when Visit Hot Springs conducted the first annual slow roll, we had over 200 participants of all ages and sizes and bicycles and everything. It was a very well-received event, and I'm happy to see that we're kind of closing the so-called season, if there is such a thing, that we're doing one final one there on Friday the 29th. Each year, the firefighters sponsor a 5K run called Tower to the Tunnel as part of the 9/11 recognition. I participated in that event, but that's really neither here nor there. But I had to compete against a firefighter who's less than half my age who donned the entire firefighting uniform, which included his boots, his firefighting bib pants, his jacket, his helmet, and his breathing apparatus. And the young firefighter, his name is Trey Hicks. And he beat a number of people. He didn't beat me, but
Come on.
yeah, I had if you loaded me down, I would have been still running. He might have had to do some resuscitation on me, but I was very impressed. It was a cool morning. I think the temperature was about 62 or maybe 64 at the time that the event started. But he ran that whole thing, and I was sweating profusely, just wearing very light clothing, and he had a couple firefighters at the finish line helping him get out of it right away. But he did a wonderful job. He ran it in just slightly over 30 minutes, and he was really running hard that last 100 yards. If we would have been down to the neck, he would have beat me because he was, as Terry Wallace would say at the track, he was picking them up and laying them down. He was motoring really good, very impressive for that young man.
Mayor, excuse me, I do have an announcement.
Uh-oh,
This
we
coming
triggered the
weekend,
thought.
SpaCon
Yes.
is being held at the convention center. So,
Yeah, last year they had
okay,
thought they were going to get a few hundred people, and they got a few thousand or something like that.
it's a big deal.
It's so if you find people in this kind of SpaCon costume, it's okay. Out there in the public. So they're going to be around downtown in heavy numbers. All right, meeting rules. We have certain procedures. Do we have anybody that signed up for any discussion points?
But I don't know if Mr. Wade can sign up on that or public.
Well, if we have, we just ask that you limit your comments to 3 minutes, and we'll have the countdown clock posted to aid you, and should you go a little bit over, we'll work with you on that. But and if there's anything that happens that you need to leave the room for a period of time or your topic is over, we just ask that you do so quietly. So thank you very much. And we'll begin with the consent agenda. Do we have...
Mr. Mayor,
yes.
I'd like to move for approval of the consent agenda.
We got a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda as presented. Any discussion? Well, these are for no discussion items, routine matters. Call the roll, please.
Jones.
Aye.
Williams.
Aye.
Garcia.
Aye.
Folly.
Aye.
Davidson.
Aye.
McCabe.
Aye.
It's approved.
We have 3 items of business tonight that we'll act upon separately. All of them relate to annexations. They're all ordinances. So we'll need to entertain a motion to suspend the rules and read by title only, and we're going to focus on ordinance number 01733. Motion to suspend the rules and read by title only.
So moved.
Motion by Director Foley,
Second.
seconded by Director Davidson. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion is approved. Council, please read the ordinance by title.
Ordinance 01733, an ordinance accepting the annexation of certain territory located at 2451 Park Avenue to the City of Hot Springs, Arkansas, making same part of the City of Hot Springs, assigning said lands to a zoning district, revising the future land use map, assigning said lands to board district, and for other purposes. That concludes your reading. If you would, entertain a motion second to adopt and have discussion, if any.
Need a motion to adopt by Director Jones, seconded by
I'll second it.
Director Williams. And staff report is from City Clerk, Mr. Spicer.
Thank you, Mayor. As you said, each one of these 3 items, they are separate and distinct annexation ordinances. Although they are relatively similar in nature, these are petition annexations. This is found in 1440-601, so this deals with annexation by adjoining property owners. That means they're contiguous to the city limits. And in doing so, they make their petition to the quorum court, and there's some other provisions. But I did just want to alert those following along at home and those in attendance that the map that is depicted on the screens there are 3 actual parcels. We'll start with 01733. This was Miss Annette Meredith. She is actually located, and you can see the parcel is 3642. This is approximately an acre of land. Miss Meredith made application and petition to the Quorum Court to have this property annexed. In doing so, she presented an attested petition along with a legal description and a map depicting the area to be annexed. And the county clerk received that, and they set a public hearing date, which was July 26th of this year. And prior to that, city staff assisted Ms. Meredith in running the public notice, which must be done 3 previous times before this public hearing. At the public hearing, the county judge reviews the documents that were submitted as part of the petition for annexation for sufficiency and making sure that they meet all the requirements of the statute, and found no deficiencies or issues, and thereby he issued his decree for annexation, and which that brings us, the board, to this evening's action. This would annex that approximate 1 acre parcel. This is located directly across the street from Belvedere Nursing Home, formerly Belvedere Country Club. And in doing so, it will essentially bring the property. The home is actually in the city. This is a vacant parcel behind the property that is located in unincorporated Garland County. It would make it the entire property within the current city limits of Hot Springs. It would also place it within Board District 1. The default zoning for these type of actions are R1. If there's ever a need to do any type of rezoning, of course, that can be accomplished through our Planning Commission. But that really concludes the presentation. But I do just want to touch on one thing. There is a provision in state law where before an entity undertakes any type of boundary change, there does need to be a coordination with the state GIS. The map that you see before you is actually the map that digitally is on file with the state GIS. So for each three of these items, you'll see that they're essentially located on the same map. But this mapping, and we have coordinated with the state GIS and received acknowledgement of such. That concludes the presentation.
Director Williams.
Lance, I'd like to correct you on something you said, in case you repeat it again 2 more times. You said it went through the Quorum Court. It actually went through the county court, which is under the jurisdiction of the county judge. So anyway, there's confusion about one is a legislative body and one is a judicial body.
You're correct.
So,
Thank you. Any other questions of Mr. Spitzer?
I'll just add, Mayor, that each one of these items that you're being asked to consider this evening were single parcel, single owner, so it's 100% participation in the petitions. The decree was entered over 30 days ago, so the appeal time has expired, and it's ripe for your decision.
Thank you. We have one individual who has signed up. Mr. Wade, did you sign up for this item? I had you signed up for ordinance 01733.
Oh, it's
Okay.
done.
Yeah.
The health unit was in the consent agenda and was not an item that was individually listed for action.
I would like to take this moment if possible just wanted to formally come and thank the city board of directors for the decision to fund the health unit for another year.
Very
I
good.
just wanted to say thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so if there's no other items related to 07, or discussion on 01733, can you please call the roll?
Yes. Williams.
aye.
Garcia.
Aye.
Foley.
Aye.
Davidson.
Aye.
Jones.
Aye.
McCabe.
Aye. Ordinance is adopted. Our next ordinance is 01734, and I'll need a motion to suspend the rules to read by title only.
I so move.
Director Garcia makes the motion, seconded by Director Jones. All in favor of the motion to suspend the rules, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion is approved, and I ask council to read by title only.
Ordinance 01734, an ordinance accepting the annexation of certain territory located at 2461 Park Avenue to the City of Hot Springs, Arkansas, making same part of the City of Hot Springs, assigning said lands to a zoning district, revising the future land use map, assigning said lands to a board district, and for other purposes. That concludes your reading, Mayor. If you would, entertain a motion second to adopt and have discussion, if any.
Thank you. We'll have a motion to adopt.
So moved,
We got-
sir.
We got Director Jones, seconded by Director Foley. And Mr. Spicer, I know that this is kind of repetitive, but perhaps for legal reasons, we got to go through it.
We will. I'll speed it up. I won't go into as much detail. This particular property deals with 2461 Park Avenue. Both Mr. and Mrs. William and Susan Irwin made petition to the county court of Garland County, and thereby a public hearing was set for July 26th. And in doing so, the judge essentially reviewed the sufficiency of the petitions, the mapping, the legal descriptions, et cetera, to ensure that they complied with the state code. And he found everything to be in order, and thereby he issued the annexation decree, which is for the board to consider this annexation by petition. This is a similar property. Essentially, this is about a quarter acre of property. The house is located on the frontage there along Park Avenue. This will also default to R1 zoning and will be located in City Board District Number 1.
Very good. Any questions of Mr. Spicer?
And your office also received acknowledgement from GIS of the coordination with their office. Thank you.
We had no members of the public sign up, so if there's no further questions, please call the roll.
Garcia?
Aye.
Foley?
Aye.
Davidson?
Aye.
Jones?
Aye.
Williams?
Aye.
McCabe?
Aye. Our final action item for tonight is to consider ordinance 01735, and I'd ask that we entertain a motion to suspend the rules and read by title only.
I so moved, Mayor.
We got a motion by Director Foley, seconded by Director Jones. We have motion to suspend the rules. All in a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. The motion's been approved. I ask Mr. Albright to read by title only.
Ordinance 01735, an ordinance accepting the annexation of certain territory located at 305 Oak Creek Drive to the City of Hot Springs, Arkansas, making same part of the City of Hot Springs, assigning said lands to a zoning district, revising the future land use map, assigning said lands to a board district, and for other purposes. That concludes your reading, Mayor. If you would entertain a motion second to adopt and have discussion, if any.
Motion to adopt.
I think Director Davidson should make that motion because it's in her district. I've been backing off the whole evening, waiting to give you the opportunity. Can I make that suggestion?
So moved.
Director Davidson made the motion to approve, seconded by
I'll second it.
by Director Williams. We have Mr. Spicer for the third time.
Third time's a charm. This one is a little bit bigger piece of property. This is at 305 Oak Creek Drive. The petition for annexation was filed by Mr. Thomas Guerrero. And this parcel is actually a little bit bigger. It's about 20.21 acres, give or take, the size of it. And Mr. Guerrero's hearing was earlier in the year. This was his public hearing was set for March 28th of 2017. The county judge reviewed the sufficiency of the documents that were presented, the petition, the mapping, and the legal description. He found no issues with and everything to be in order, and pursuant to the statute, he went ahead and issued the decree ordering the annexation, which brings this item to the board's agenda this evening to consider annexing this property. This is property, as I said earlier, is about 21 acres. The petitioner, Mr. Guerrero, has developed a subdivision just to the north of it. His intention is to continue that particular subdivision within this property here as it's annexed. This is also not located directly on Park Avenue, although Oak Creek Drive does essentially square up almost very closely with Belvedere Drive, the nursing home, which is directly across the street. This property here will also be located in City Board District Number 1. The default zoning will be R1. However, Mr. Guerrero will be coming before the Planning Commission to ask for R2 zoning, which will be more in line with his current development that is there within Oak Creek Drive. This particular annexation proceeding was also coordinated with state GIS, and we have a letter to that effect as well.
Very good. Any questions of Mr. Spitzer? We had no members of the public sign up to speak on this issue, so if there's no further questions, we can call the roll.
Foley?
Aye.
Davidson?
Aye.
Jones?
Aye.
Clark?
Aye.
Williams?
Aye.
Garcia?
Aye.
McCabe?
Aye. Ordinance is adopted. Welcome, Director Clark.
Yes, I told her we missed her.
Now we are under Board of Directors' comments. We'll start with Director Clark. Did you have any comments for
I
tonight?
apologize. It's a long story. I'll tell you later.
Director Clark was driving in from another city
Yes.
and had a little setback, but we're glad that you made it safely.
Thank you.
Yes.
Very much so.
Very much.
Any other comments? Director Garcia.
Yes, I would like to take this opportunity to publicly thank City Manager David Frazier, our Deputy City Manager Bill Burrow, and our Assistant City Manager Lance Spicer, who all came out to our community meeting in District 5 last week and did a terrific job of presentation to the attendees, and the citizens' feedback has been so positive. Everything was so informative, and getting to meet and talk to all of you made a big difference to them, and I want to thank you for coming out and taking your time to do that.
Thank you. Any other Board of Directors comments? Once, twice, thrice. We are adjourned. Thank you very much. Drive home safely.